Tonight, we're taking a closer look at what experts are calling a rapid expansion of motorcycle gangs nationwide.
Also breaking this noon time, 2 members of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club now charged with arson.
All 8 individuals have been identified as outlaw motorcycle gang members.
In this episode of Life of Bikers, we will dive into the electrifying saga of the legendary Bikers Club. The groups that roared onto the scene, dominated the roads, and left a mark as indelible as tire tracks on asphalt. We will investigate further into their thunderous rise to their mysterious and dramatic fall. Stay tuned. Origins and Brotherhood. After World War II, America was changing a lot, and during these changes, veterans came back home looking for excitement and friendship. They found these both in riding motorcycles. Clubs like the Hells Angels and the Outlaws started as just groups of buddies who loved the freedom of riding. But soon, these motorcycle clubs turned into something bigger and things began to get darker. For many people, these motorcycle clubs were a way to rebel against the strict rules of society after the war. They stood for breaking away from the usual ways of living, providing an option where personal freedom and being loyal to a tight group mattered most. The leather jacket and loud bikes became icons of this rebellion, making the riders look like modern-day cowboys who were challenging the limits of a society that was quickly evolving. Despite their rugged and rebellious image, these early biker clubs were not initially the outlaws. Many engaged actively in their local communities, organizing rides for charity and participating in events that supported local causes. These activities painted a positive image of bikers, showcasing a spirit of generosity that contradicted the later, more sensational media portrayals. They weren't just about bikes and leather. They were about brotherhood, giving back, and, most importantly, forging a new path in a world that often seemed too rigid. This blend of rebellion, community involvement, and fierce loyalty set the stage for the complex evolution of biker clubs, shaping their journey from groups of free-spirited riders to legends of the American road. Rise to power. As the 1960s dawned, a sense of revolution was in the air, echoed by the thundering exhausts of motorcycles across the United States. Biker clubs, initially formed as small gatherings, began to expand dramatically. This was the expansion era for groups like the Hells Angels, Outlaws, and many others who transformed from local brotherhoods into powerful national entities. The open road symbolized ultimate freedom, and these riders embraced the outlaw mystique that came with moving outside societal norms. It wasn't just about riding, it was a full embrace of life on the fringes, with their own rules and a fierce loyalty to their pack. The media was quick to latch onto this phenomenon, both fascinated and repelled by these leather-clad rebels. Hollywood films and television painted bikers as both heroes and villains, embedding them in the public consciousness. Movies like Easy Rider and later The Wild One portrayed bikers as symbols of counterculture defiance, which only added layers to their allure. This portrayal significantly impacted how these clubs were perceived and sparked a surge in membership. People drawn to the idea of freedom and rebellion saw these clubs as their entry ticket to a life less ordinary. The peak of their power and influence came in the late 1960s to the 1970s, a period when these clubs were no longer just groups of enthusiasts, but significant cultural icons. They organized major events, like the infamous 1969 Altamont Free Concert, which, although ending in tragedy, marked the zenith of their visibility and their cultural integration. These events showcased their ability to marshal large groups and exert considerable influence, drawing attention from both admirers and critics alike. During these peak times, the image of the motorcycle club was a complex mix of freedom fighters and fearsome rebels. This period solidified their place in American culture, setting the stage for the dramatic chapters that would follow as they navigated the challenges of their own success and the watchful eyes of law enforcement. Seeds of decline. As the draw of the outlaw lifestyle expanded, some biker clubs began sliding into criminal enterprises during the 1970s. What might have started as minor mischief escalated into serious illegal activities, including drug trafficking, weapons smuggling, and organized violent crimes. This shift, while not universal, was significant among prominent clubs and drastically altered public perception, attracting intense scrutiny from law enforcement. This period was marked by infamous incidents that further tarnished the club's reputations. High-profile events like the 1972 Bassett, Virginia shootout, and violent altercations at rallies such as the 1980 Hollister incident painted these clubs not just as free-spirited rebels, but as genuine threats to public safety. The government's response was both formidable and swift, leveraging the Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act to tackle the embedded criminal elements within these clubs. This powerful tool allowed law enforcement to address the clubs as whole organizations, rather than targeting individual members. Sweeping raids, extensive surveillance, and high-profile trials ensued. The very unity that had fortified these clubs now made them vulnerable under RICO, as leaders and entire club entities could be charged collectively. This combination of internal criminality and external legal pressure began to fray the fabric of many clubs, setting the stage for either their transformation or their gradual decline. Downfall and modern days. The legacy of biker clubs has always been a tale of two halves, freedom and rebellion versus lawlessness and discord. As the 1980s and 1990s unfolded, many of these clubs found themselves increasingly embroiled in legal battles that would reshape their futures. High-profile raids and continuous legal pressures became the norm for many clubs. Operations like the 1989 Operation Rough Rider not only led to the arrests of numerous members, but also significantly dismantled club activities. These legal actions, coupled with the RICO Act, allowed authorities to target clubs as criminal organizations, leading to a steep decline in their operations and influence. Internally, the unity that once defined these clubs began to crumble. Infighting over leadership roles and the direction of the clubs, coupled with intense competition with rival clubs, eroded their stability. This strife often spilled over into public view, further damaging their reputations and weakening their standings within their own communities. As battles for territory and influence raged, the foundational brotherhood that had defined these clubs was often left by the wayside. Today, the status of these once formidable clubs varies significantly. Some have made concerted efforts to rehabilitate their public images, stepping away from criminal activities and focusing on community service and legitimate motorcycle enthusiast activities. These clubs host charity rides and participate in community events, attempting to return to their roots of camaraderie and freedom without the overlay of criminality. However, not all have followed this path. Some clubs have clung to their notorious legacies, either unable or unwilling to shed the outlaw skin that has defined them for decades. These clubs continue to operate on the fringes of legality, occasionally surfacing in the media for all the wrong reasons. As we look to the future, the world of biker clubs remains a dynamic and evolving landscape. Some seek redemption and a return to their original spirit, while others seem destined to remain enshrined as symbols of a darker side of motorcycle culture. The road ahead is uncertain, but the legacy of these clubs will continue to influence both the culture of motorcycling and the broader societal understanding of rebellion and law. The legacy left behind. The cultural legacy of biker clubs in America is indelible, weaving through the fabric of fashion, cinema, and social movements. Leather jackets, bandanas, and rugged boots have transcended their origins, becoming symbols of rebellion and freedom that resonate widely in popular culture. Films like Easy Rider and television shows have mythologized the biker lifestyle, embedding the image of the free-spirited rebel into the American consciousness. These clubs have also influenced social movements, embodying a spirit of defiance against societal norms that have inspired various groups seeking autonomy and self-expression. Amidst this storied legacy, many clubs today are navigating a path toward reform and rehabilitation. To dissociate from their notorious pasts, some clubs have rebranded themselves as modern motorcycle enthusiasts who prioritize community engagement and legal activities. These clubs are actively working to reshape the narrative, focusing on charity events and promoting motorcycle safety, aiming to cultivate a positive community impact. Looking to the future, the evolution of motorcycle clubs remains an open road. As legal and cultural landscapes shift, these clubs face the challenge of adapting to new societal norms while trying to retain the core elements of brotherhood and freedom that originally defined them. Whether they will succeed in maintaining their heritage without the shadow of infamy will be a crucial test of their resilience and adaptability. We've roared through the epic rise and fall of America's most notorious biker clubs. As they speed towards a crossroads between redemption and notoriety, what do you think lies ahead for them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you enjoyed the journey, and subscribe for more captivating stories. Keep riding the wild road of history with us.